The fiction writer Maxwell Conroe used a young medical doctor's anecdote in a short essay fittingly titled, "Grabbing Attention, Mr. Jagger's Obituary." This story is, of course, a prank by Maxwell Conroe. Please, let me read this story for you. Mr. Mick Jagger, lead singer of the Rolling Stones, a legendary rock band, left a profound impression on many of the people he met throughout his long career. Jagger's charisma was not lost either on a young medical student from Amsterdam who had to act as his emergency doctor in the 1970s. The story was recently recounted in a Dutch weekly journal, Argus, a highbrow platform where writers, retired politicians, and other intellectuals, including retired medical professors, share essays and stories as they please. Getting attention is half the trick, knew Mick Jagger all along. He never passed an opportunity to promote visibility of himself and his legendary rock band, but his casual public demeanor and dramatic stage persona were only the captivating front ends of a very dedicated professional performer. Serious professional planning and preparations were observed up close in the 1970s by a young medical doctor who shuttled Mr. Jagger in a Volkswagen Beetle to a nearby hospital with an X-ray machine, zigzagging in the middle of the night across innumerous tiny bridges over Amsterdam's canals. The Stones singer had sprained his ankle during a live performance earlier that night, and the young medic, presently a retired medical professor, overheard his patient, the young Mick Jagger, chatting with a roadie in the back of his Beetle, 3 o'clock in the morning, about what should definitely be improved in the shows lying ahead in their tour. We now know that many more show tours would follow in the next half-century, but back in the 1970s, all these shows were yet to become reality. The ankle was quickly cured, and during his over 60-year-long career, Mr. Jagger traveled the globe tirelessly, and he would regularly revisit the Netherlands, where once, while promoting his band's gig by granting an interview on primetime TV, it was only 2003, the interviewer tried to talk Mick into early retirement by suggesting he was way too old to be jumping up and down the stage as a rock star. At the time, he was still only 59. Grabbing attention was Mr. Mick Jagger's second nature, and the legendary rock star would feature as himself in many cameo roles, never missing an opportunity to grab the press momentum. A particularly memorable 2008 photo event had Mr. Jagger accompanying the then European Commissioner for Market Regulation, a former Dutch minister named Neelie Kroes. The commissioner wanted digital music providers to stop blocking pan-European licensing, make online music downloads more consumer-friendly, and put a halt to anti-competitive music retailing practices. It remained unclear what Mr. Jagger's stance on the issue was, but he surely left an impression on the gathered press folks, although the surviving picture seems to portray him thinking, "Shit, what have I gotten myself into here?" But seemingly nothing would stop Mr. Jagger from beating the rhythm, even after serious heart surgery in 2020. He again jumped on stage in 2022, like a hipster. And a hipster he was. He was to push 80 soon. Frank Sinatra moved a lot slower when he neared the magic octogenarian age. And while Tony Bennett will long be remembered as the world's premier longevity singer, Mr. Jagger was the one who stayed forever young, at least in his stage persona. Curiously, Mr. Jagger's hairdo remained remarkably stable over his entire musical career. It is no secret that few people can do that naturally, but people in the public eye know very well how to camouflage and disguise their age lines. That Mr. Jagger's hairdo was highly adaptable can be seen in his hilarious 2021 spoof as an anonymous critic of himself in an episode of the U.S. Saturday Night Live show, where he appeared, have no doubt, to promote the Stones' upcoming tour. But you won't believe how the Mr. Jagger, appearing with an extraordinary serious demeanor in this spoof, still found on YouTube, is the very same guy as the legendary rock star who delivered for decades the rebellious Stones songs like Gimme Shelter, Revolution, and others. And now Mick has stepped it up once more by taking the staircase to the rock star section in heaven, already immortalized by Led Zeppelin half a lifetime ago. Oops. At this point, an editor wrote back to me, Maxwell that is, "Hey, Jagger is not dead yet."